All right, guys. I said beforehand that I was going to do a separate video on trading, and so I'll just outline quickly what I plan on doing. I'll try and keep this short as possible. The idea is to trade penny stocks and trade them from a fairly early stage, like get in quite early, which is now. We've missed the boat with a few of them, and so I'm not too worried about that. There's a couple of others that I'm quite happy with the price of the entry price, and overall it's probably not going to be a huge difference. It might just mean I've got to start with a little bit more cash rather than the $2,000 that I'd initially planned. There's a couple of things have transpired that sort of altered that a little bit, so I might have to put in a bit more cash. I've set up an account with E-Trade, and they're pretty, it took a bit. It took a lot longer than I thought, and there were a few problems with my identity and things like that, pretty low key, So I finally got all that sorted out and found out that I really do exist, which was nice, because it would have been a bit of a disappointment to find out that you don't actually exist. But anyway, I finally got that sorted out, and I went to a bank that I've never banked with, and they said, would we have you on file? And I said, I seriously doubt it. I said, I've never banked with you guys before. And they said, and they had all my information there, so they just typed in, yes, no, we've already got you on our records. And I just went, what? How can you do that? Anyway, that's what they did. They had me on their file. But now, of course, now I've opened it, I can't close it until I update all your details. And then I had to sit there for another quarter of an hour giving her all my details, like, what's your tax file number? Anyway, we got through all that. But, so the plan is to take a very small amount of money, dump it all on incredibly high potential low value stocks. Now's the perfect time to be doing it. The miners are where we're going. The gold and silver miners are where we're going with it. We're not going to bother with anything else. There are lithium plays, and there are other things that I would probably put something like super money into, but that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is we're purely trying to generate a massive amount of wealth from nothing. That's the whole dream of this scheme. It's not really, it's designed around a very, very, very risky type of approach. So you could only do it with money that you're more than happy to lose, like the amount. That's why I only wanted to keep it to $2,000 or so. It's neither here nor there if you lose it. You can easily make that up again. So what I've decided, I went with E-Trade. I've got that all set up now. I've finally placed my trades. I've bought. These all ASX, because my broker I was supposed to be able to trade New York Stock Exchange and the TSX, the Canadian Toronto Stock Exchange, but I haven't been able to work out how to do it yet. So we'll just stick with the Australian ones. Brokerage is much more expensive for me buying Toronto and New York. So, but having said that, Toronto has got all of the good small cap miners. I mean, there's just dozens and dozens, whereas Australia, particularly silver play, small, because mining is so difficult with all the regulations and all the bullshit and all the different areas of government and title and all the stuff that you've got to go through to get a claim established. It's really, really hard in Australia. I've looked into it before. It's expensive as well. It's not just a headache. It's really expensive. So anyway, what I've bought is 16,200 units of EXU. EXU, what was that one? Anyway, you can look that up on the ASX at 3.8 cents, so almost 4 cents a share. I've got another 13,100 ARU, which is Aurora, on the ASX at 0.046, so that's nearly 5 cents. So 4.5 cents. So we're in and we've started now. Because of your brokerage and everything else, the first few days or whatever, you expect to dip down. Well, we did straight off the bat. We lost our $19 brokerage out of our overall account, and yet we closed the day after 2 lots of brokerage. We closed the day up by, it was almost $40, I think. So that's sort of the sort of potential you got. It could have easily been down by $100 or $200 by the end of the day. That's just the nature of it. It could have been really, really dismal start. I certainly didn't expect it to be up. I had no visions whatsoever of it being up, but it was. So that was a bit of a bonus, bit of, that's the market giving me the wink. I don't know. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll leave a link below. What the actual motivation was for me doing this. I saw a clip and I thought, hell, I've got to do this, and it's CEO, as in CEO of a company, CEO.ca. Now, they've got a lot of mining information on there, a lot of mining clips, but the one that I watched was how to parlay $20,000 into 50 million. Now, that sounds pretty crazy because that's like a 500 times return. And this guy has done it. He's played the stock market through 3 booms. So he positioned himself for the tech stock boom, and he also positioned himself for one other boom that I'm not quite sure what it was, but it was possibly the 2010 run-up in the metals. But this time around, it's the miners. Now, this video was done a few months. It was in 2015. So he was just biding his time. He explains in it really well how he actually made a lot of money and then got greedy, got silly, left it in, didn't take it out when he should have. And that's my main fear, actually. Not so much when to get in, but when to get out. Like, how are you going to know when the top's in, or whether it's just a corrective pullback and it's still got 50% to go? It's really, really hard. So I'm just going to have to, work on a strategy, maybe where I just pull out half of it or something like that. Just if it does go that way, I mean, I'm obviously thinking pretty optimistic here, but either way, we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty rapt to be doing it, and having the privilege to be able to just mess around like that. I'm posting up my results on the derivatives and markets section in Silver Stackers forums. So if you go to the Silver Stackers index and then to the derivatives and markets, and you'll see mine there. It just says 2,000 to 200,000, and that's about it. So that's the goal. I'm trying to generate 200,000 out of 2,000. But like I said, because of a couple of things, well, one thing is with the ASX or my broker, I'm not sure who to blame, but with the position that my minimum buy is $600. So I've got whatever trade it is, it's got to be 600, which means they've got to be in increments of 600. So to get your 6 trades, I need to put in $3,600. I don't want to put that much in. Now, the way around that is to buy your position, sell off three quarters of it, and then add that to whatever's in your account, buy another lot. But your brokerage at $20 a pop, $19.95 a pop, that's going to get a little bit prohibitive, and you're going to really draw your account down to start with through that kind of strategy. Having said that, I probably will do it nonetheless, simply because I don't want to be putting I'm going to have to be pulling money out of elsewhere that really should stay where it is. So I think I'll probably run it up to about $2,500. I've only put in $1,400 at the moment, so I'll probably top it up to about $2,400 or $2,500, and then I'll just trade it from there, see how we go. If you want to keep tabs on that, if you got a bit of an interest in that sort of thing, you'll see a lot of the comments on there. The guys on there are giving me some of their first-hand advice, and some of these guys have done a lot of trading there. I have traded. I was a day trader in the tech stock boom, and with the telcos and all that, I was into that. And then I did trade futures for a while. I've also traded indices, but since the manipulation factor came into the markets from the establishment of the plunge protection team, or the SFS, in the United States, the markets became very, very difficult, and I lost my confidence. I thought, if I'm going on a surefire bet here that matches all my charting criteria, and my charting criteria was very basic. I kept it as simple as possible: 200-day and a 20-day crossover. That was all it was in relation to the price, and that was my. I tried more complex approaches, and I found the simpler was the better. It was just a visual sort of thing that really worked for me. It was just my way of doing it, and it was very, very effective in the tech stock boom. It worked really well. But either way, I just lost confidence as soon as I realised that there was a ESF, Exchange Stabilisation Fund, that they incidentally denied for years that existed, because we were saying, there's a plunge protection team. And they go, no, you're talking bullshit, you conspiracy pricks are just making all this shit up, like, what are you on about? What drugs are you guys on? Anyway, it turns out, no, it's not the plunge protection team, it's this Exchange Stabilisation Fund. So anyway, they got the thumbs down from me. I closed up my account. There were other things involved too, like my broker got bought out by another company that I did not want to deal with, that I couldn't stand, and then they deposited all my money into a bloody bank that I'd never banked with, and I couldn't. I tried to access that money. And I couldn't get it out because it could only be pulled out by the entity that had put the money in there. So I had this big battle to try and get my money out of this blinking, bank account, and with just a very specific threat of intense violence. They finally accepted that maybe they might be good if they did get it out, and lo and behold, they miraculously could get out of that bank for me, even though they said it was impossible. So I ended up with getting cut a cheque, which was good, but either way, it shouldn't be that hard. So anyway, I think that's about covers it. If you want to go over to Silver Stackers and drop a comment there, I'm really happy to hear your inputs, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm only learning this style, and it's going to be hopefully a really laid-back style. So I don't want to be, going through the highs and the lows of being a day trader. It was great for my age bracket that I was then, and I loved it. But yeah, I don't really want that kind of involvement now. I just want to park it in places that I, check it every day and see if there's anything I want to move around or any biases I want to put on different, aspects or whatever. But all right, guys, we'll leave it at that.